Good morning, I'm Wendy Burke, and this is the CBC Morning Report for Wednesday, November 24th. Exactly 1 week before the country becomes a republic, Barbadians have a document which sets out their rights as well as what is expected of all who reside in this country. That document, the Charter of Barbados, was introduced and keenly debated in the lower house yesterday. Prime Minister Mia Motley moved the resolution to approve the document to be known as the Charter of Barbados 2021. Prime Minister Motley sought to clarify the Charter is not a legal document, nor is it the Constitution of Barbados.
The one major departure with this charter from the Constitution that currently exists and the other things that we have done as an independent nation is that there is no document that says to Barbadians that you have not only rights, but you also have a duty to take care of each other. And you have a duty to take care of this nation. And you have a duty to participate in the affairs of nation building as a form of active citizenship. So that this charter, sir, seeks to set out very, very clearly the precepts of not only rights, but the recognition that the only people who will take care of this fair land are Barbadians themselves and those choosing to live here.
To ensure the widest possible ownership of the Charter, Prime Minister Motley says 15 sessions were conducted by the Republican Status Transition Advisory Committee. The Charter is premised on 5 articles. Article 1 says all Barbadians are born free and are equal in human dignity and rights, regardless of age, race, ethnicity, faith, class, cultural and educational background, ability, sex, gender, or sexual orientation.
This is the country that now says that we must have a guideline to ensure that we must never reflect any ounce of discrimination against any human being in this nation if we are to be fair to the battles and to honor the battles fought by our ancestors, and if we are to be fair to the precepts of human dignity that we believe in, whether as a nation or spiritually so. This is the nation that must never repeat the tyrannical episodes of history.
Article 2 spells out that everyone in Barbados has a duty to care for each other and to ensure that our relationships are at all times characterized by courtesy, civility, and mutual respect.
We want you to be courteous, civility, and mutual respect. We're telling our adults, we want you to be courteous, to be civil, and to respect each other irrespective of the differences that you may have. Why? Because every war, every crime, every act of violence is really rooted in a lack of respect, a lack of appreciation of the importance of life to that other person. As you know, Mr. Speaker, as a person who practices law in this area where persons are hurt, injured, or have their lives lost.
Next on CBC Morning Report, updates on the COVID-19 pandemic. Barbados has recorded 3 more COVID-19 related deaths, pushing the death toll to 214. The individuals are all Barbadians. 2 women, 77 and 78, died at the Blackman and Gollop and Queen's College isolation facilities, respectively. They were both fully vaccinated. Additionally, a 67-year-old man passed away at the Harrison Point isolation facility. He was unvaccinated. There have been 290 new COVID-19 cases in Barbados. The Bestel Santos Public Health Laboratory is reporting this after conducting 1,669 tests on November 22nd. The cases identified included 128 males and 162 females. Of the new cases, 43 people were under the age of 18. There are now 682 people in isolation facilities and 7,429 in home isolation. Meanwhile, under the National Vaccination Program for COVID-19, the total number of people who are fully vaccinated is 135,089. A government survey in Bermuda suggests about 5,000 to 6,000 Bermudans may never agree to take the coronavirus vaccine.
It's 10 months since the Pfizer-BioNTech coronavirus vaccine arrived on our shores. But while many Bermudians got immunized in the first few months, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Ayo Oyinloye admits the current sluggish pace of vaccinations is disappointing. Furthermore, he worries that up to 10% of islanders may never get the vaccine.
Things have not exactly stalled, but not gone as quickly as we would have loved. We are now seeing people who are more hesitant and more reluctant. And our latest survey suggested that we have about 8 to 10% of our population who say that they will not take the vaccine under any circumstances.
How do you respond to that as a medical authority?
It's painful to hear that, because in many instances, this is driven by misinformation, false belief that these vaccines were rushed. There's still a lot of false belief that these vaccines causes more injuries than the disease that they're designed to protect. All of this can be easily refuted.
Apart from these pockets of resistance and the small number of people who can't take the vaccine for medical reasons, there is still up to 70% of the population that have been willing to get vaccinated. It's a safe bet that many of them will be eager to get the vaccine booster, currently available to over 50s, frontline workers and people with chronic illness.
The World Health Organization has warned that Europe remains in the firm grip of the coronavirus pandemic, and the continent's death toll could top 2.2 million this winter if current trends continue. As a result, the Netherlands have mandated social distancing again while taking other measures.
COVID-19 patients in the Netherlands are now being transported across the border to Germany to try to ease pressure on hospitals. Weekly infections hit a new record on Tuesday, prompting the government to make social distancing mandatory again for all adults. Well, let's speak to Andrew Simmons. He's in Rotterdam. Andrew, tensions there have obviously been running fairly high, the protests we've been seeing, but are these rising numbers now changing how people view restrictions?
To some extent, yes. There is an alarming situation here. We're seeing more and more infections. The infection rate, well, it was in the past 7 days, 140,000 new cases, and that compares with something like a rise of nearly 40%. So that is a considerable number. A marker to all of this is the start of transfers of patients who are seriously ill in intensive care units to Germany. The first patient coming from here in Rotterdam transferred 240 kilometers across the border into Germany to Bochum, and that is a start, a not particularly surprising move to take the pressure off the hospitals here. It was used. Dozens of patients in earlier waves of the pandemic were moved to Germany. And also, we're seeing now really a lot of concern on the streets. You saw last Friday on this street, indeed, there were riots and the police actually opened fire with live rounds. 4 protesters were injured. That is now calm, but don't forget that there is still concern about restrictions here, because the level of restrictions is reasonably high, it has to be said. There is a work from home policy. There are restrictions where IDs have to be used for vaccines to get into public places. Bars and restaurants around here will close at 8 o'clock every night. And there are other restrictions too. Now, moves to make some of those restrictions into law are making people really concerned. So, yes, there is really a division in people, and the stunning fact is that 84% of people here are vaccinated. So that's a high number and a high infection rate. It doesn't really fit. Some claim it's behavioral with the people here, but this is a situation that's alarming to all concerned.
Time for a preview of what's coming up on Morning Barbados. And for that, we say good morning to Pearson Calvin Boone. See, I'm being nice.
Well, that's a beautiful name. Actually, it's a name of one of my friends as well, Wendy Catherine Burke. That's my paternal grandmother's name. So
but it is also mine.
You serious?
Yes,
What a
that
small
was
world.
my great-granny's name.
All right, that's beautiful. So you see, we've been kind to each other today.
Yes.
For those of you watching, you think, but we're very harsh with each other. No, it's just the way we are. Thank you, Wendy. Oh, thank you, Royal. Coming up at 6:30 this morning, when you join me for Morning Barbados, we'll be showcasing a couple more parishes ambassadors as well. We're going to St. Thomas and we're heading off to St. Lucy as well. Is this St. Thomas, really? Yes. Those parish ambassadors you'll get to meet this morning to hear more about how they're preparing for the upcoming Spirit of the Nation show. Speaking of that, we're going to have this Sunday the National Service of Thanksgiving under the theme Fortifying Foundations, Overcoming Adversity and Pursuing Destiny. We'll share with you a little bit more about that too. But I can't wait to dig into my manager's toolkit, my first aid kit. And today we're cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Joan Underwood will join us to talk a little bit more about that and how that fits into just being a manager. That and a whole lot more when you join me at 6:34 Morning Barbados. It's back to you, Catherine.
Thank you so much, Kelvin. We'll see you in a bit. We'll take another break and return with more news. 23-year-old Shamar Boyce of Jessamy Avenue, Babel, St. Michael is Barbados' 14th road fatality for 2021. The accident occurred about 5:45 last evening along the Bell section of the ABC Highway in the northbound lane between Norman Niles and Clyde Walcott roundabouts. Boyce was riding a motorcycle when he collided with a car driven by a 32-year-old male from Greenwich, St. Lucie. He died on the spot. Barbados has extended to Scottish business the opportunity to manufacture and export products in and from the island. Minister of Industry and International Business Ronald Toppin welcomes the visiting Scottish team on island for a trade mission, and he's upbeat for future opportunities.
In addition to exporting indigenous goods and products, we are wholeheartedly welcoming your businesses here and giving our stamp of approval to you in order that your businesses can be domiciled here to manufacture and export your products from here into the Caribbean Basin and Latin America. In so doing, you can make use of our relationships with and within these markets and our tax treaty network, which will redound to your benefit and expand your global footprint. You can rest assured that the ingredients for such business opportunities are already in existence. These range from the quality of human resources needed to support your work, through the development of the necessary framework for the execution of invaluable research and development, to the presence of international air and sea ports with global linkages.
Minister Toppin also announced his ministry continues its work to enhance business facilitation.
On Friday of this week, CAIPO's digital corporate registry will be launched. This will revolutionize the process of company creation, business name registration, and the post-incorporation processes as we deliver a world-class business registration solution. I also take this opportunity to announce that, again, through my ministry, Barbados is one step closer to achieving at least a largely compliant rating by the Global Forum of the OECD as it relates to the exchange of tax information standard. The Global Forum has indicated that it will conduct its on-site inspection and review during the week of January 10th, 2022. I assure you that we take both our processes and our reputation very, very seriously.
Registrar and Chief Executive Officer of the Caribbean Examination Council, Dr. Wayne Wesley, says the examining body is moving towards innovative transformation as part of its strategic plan. Speaking at the inaugural CXC Ministerial Summit on Educational Assessment, Dr. Wesley said that with the challenges of the global COVID-19 pandemic, the approach to the rebuilding of the examination body's efforts must be geared towards resilience, operational flexibility, governance, and accountability.
To have universal access and universal quality, meaning universal access to quality and relevant education. It is envisioned that the outcomes from this very important ministerial summit will help to advance and direct the way forward as we responsibly reshape the human capital of the region. In addition, we will work through strategic collaboration and partnerships with the Ministries of Education to advance universal access and a progressive assessment framework for the regional education system.
In keeping with Energy Month, the Barbados Girl Guides Association is reducing its carbon footprint by generating clean, renewable energy. The association recently won a 5-kilowatt PV system in the AmeriCaribbean Renewables Solar for We competition. The initiative challenged NGOs and non-profit organizations to share how a photovoltaic system could benefit their organization. Chief Commissioner Nadia Skeet says the system will cut energy costs while promoting energy independence among the guides.
Reduction of our electricity bill. There's nothing better than that, knowing that we can contribute to the grid and still have some income for our other projects and initiatives. Opportunities for the girls to have that training to just be able to understand how to install and maintain these kinds of systems. This is the time where we're really promoting STEM, and what a perfect way to do it in conjunction with AmeriCaribbean. And last but not least, understanding, because this project will push so much knowledge towards the girls with understanding why energy independence is so important.
Systems engineer at AmeriCaribbean Renewables, Kamal Seal, says the system is projected to save the Girl Guides up to $4,000 in energy costs annually.
Basically, the PV system is to harness the energy from the sun and produce electricity to reduce our carbon footprint. And in turn, the Barbados Girl Guides will be paid for the energy that they produce and sell back to Barbados Light and Power and to the grid. So this system will generate approximately about $4,200 per year or so. Based on my calculations, that will totally eliminate the bill for the Barbados Girl Guides and provide you with additional revenue throughout the year to use for your activities.
Gunshots have been fired at police in the French Caribbean island of Martinique in a sign that unrest triggered by COVID-19 restrictions that rocked the nearby island of Guadeloupe could be spreading.
There have been protests there against French vaccination requirements, both in Martinique and Guadeloupe. French President Emmanuel Macron has sent special forces to those Caribbean islands to help defuse what he calls a very explosive situation. Well, let's bring in Jean-Yves Bonner. He's the president of Contact Enterprises. That's a business association. He joins us now from Fort-de-France in Martinique. Jean-Yves, let's start with the level of the violence that we've been seeing there, including gunfire. How are you all holding up?
Listen, this is very worrying because the level of violence we have seen in Guadeloupe, mainly, it's just started maybe last night in Martinique as well. Mm-hmm. It's been very worrying because the protesters are now shooting at the police. So it's a very, very serious situation. The police armory has been vandalized. So we know that there are a lot of guns, ammunition circulating. And the young protesters especially are not hesitating to use them against the police.
Well, as you say, this began in Guadeloupe. That's what, less than 200 kilometers away. And now we're seeing violence as well in Martinique. I know that there was an issue with gangs in Guadeloupe. Do you think that unrest is likely to spread across the region, or is there something different?
Listen, really and truly, we do not know what it is. Our islands, our French islands in the middle of the Caribbean have been somehow abandoned. That's the feeling here. At least that's the feeling by especially the younger generations, been abandoned by mainland France, by the government. What we're seeing today is probably, at least in Guadeloupe, a repeat of what happened in 2009, where we had a very long strike. It was a general strike that completely paralyzed the country for 55 days, straight days. So it's very complex to find out what's going to happen. Obviously, the vaccination and the mandatory vaccination it's as a start of it, but it's not all about what is happening.
More countries have told their nationals to leave Ethiopia, where an intensifying one-year war between federal troops and forces from the northern Tigray region appears to be taking a dramatic new turn.
Ethiopia's Prime Minister says it's time to lead by personal example. It's a dramatic new step in the conflict that's devastated the northern Tigray region. In a statement released on social media, Abiy Ahmed said, "This is a time when leading a country with martyrdom is needed. I will go to the front line and lead the military from the ground myself. Those of you Ethiopians who want to be remembered by history for the sake of your country, join me in the fight today." Analysts say it's an unusual move by the Prime Minister.
I think it is a sign, a hope for that will also mobilize other Ethiopians to join the military forces and to join the war against the Tigrayan Defense Forces. But certainly it is also a sign of desperation.
In sports, it's day 4 of the first test, West Indies versus Sri Lanka. The Windies were resuming their first innings on 224 for 9. Before we get an update from Gulls International Stadium, let's first go to the highlights from the Windies innings.
There he goes over the top. And that's the strength.
Partly cloudy at 27.2 degrees Celsius, but it feels like 31 degrees Celsius. The humidity stands at 75% and the barometric pressure is 10.8 millibars. The winds from the east at 24 kilometers per hour. Low tide will be at 12 in the afternoon, and the first high tide will be at 7:13 a.m. and the second at 6 in the evening. The seas are smooth to moderate in open water, with swells ranging from 1 to 1.5 meters and increasing. Forecast for today, sunny with cloudy periods with the occasional scattered light to moderate showers. Tonight is expected to be mostly cloudy with clear breaks with the occasional intermittent scattered light to moderate showers. And here now is a look at our international cities. And that's it for Morning Report. We now turn you over to Pearson Bowen for Morning Barbados.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning, Barbados. Good
Indeed, a wonderful Wednesday morning to you. Wednesday, the 24th of November, 2021, marching towards being a republic, marching towards Independence Day we are. Good morning, everyone. I'm Pearson Bowen, welcoming those of you in Barbados watching us via TV8, or if you're across the globe and you're watching us on our YouTube channel or our Facebook streams. Good morning to you as well. Welcome to today. Today, we'll be connecting once again with our coach, our talent development management specialist, Our Lady Joan Underwood, as we continue our journey through the book Manager's First Aid Kit. Today we're talking about the attitude for gratitude and just how that helps the manager become a far more effective person, still managing self. Our urologist will join us as well. We're looking at the PSA test. What does it mean? How do we read it? What do the results portend? And what are the options available to you? And the Christchurch Parish Church continues to do all sorts of innovative things. They're having an upcoming drive-through tea party. Paige Bryan will join us to talk a little bit more about that and the effort that's ongoing there at Christchurch Parish Church. But let's get started by bringing you up to date on what's happening in our communities, our parishes, as a matter of fact, as we get ready for the Spirit of the Nation show. Let's introduce you now to the work of the parish ambassadors for the parish of St. Lucie. As we met this morning with Dana Broom and Shaquille Griffith, they're both the parish ambassadors. Coming with them is Pedro Cumberbatch, their attendant. Good morning, the three of you.
Good morning, Pearson.
Good morning.
Good morning, Barbados.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, St. Lucie.
You got that right. Good morning, St. Lucie. Good morning, everybody. The best parish on the island, if I say so myself, but no biases
yes, we agree.
This morning.
Definitely.
So let's talk a little bit about how preparations are going. Let's start with you, Dana. How are preparations going?
Well, we would have basically are at the end of the program. We are basically at the end of the program in reference to preparations. Preparations would have been good and exciting, actually. It was definitely a joy to have represented the parish, not only in formal wear, but in our public speaking segment. And I must say, I did have fun. While putting forth my parish with the best foot possible that I could afford them.
What about you, Shaquille? Has it been a fun ride thus far?
Yes, definitely. It's been an exciting journey. Sometimes, points in times, it was a bit hectic, but definitely an exciting journey.
Well, you know, we've been told there are some protocols we have to observe, so naturally you can't go face-to-face for everything, but you've done how have you transitioned in this pandemic so that you still meet the people of St. Lucie and share your program?
Okay, we decided we needed to brainstorm and come up with ways in order to get the project and stuff out there to the community. So we decided that we needed to get an online radio to connect with the community. So due to partnership with Islands Link Radio, we were able to do community news every Monday for the duration of the program to stay connected with our residents. We also did Community Connect. Did Community Connect with providing leaflets and material to our residents as well.
What was the project, Dana? Talk to me about what, I know we went on the online radio and you shared the information, but what is the information? What is the project that you were working on for the year?
Well, our project started in the year 2019. It was entitled Siwihe Discover Our Way. It's basically a project formalized to inform not only Barbados, but the wider world that St. Lucie has a lot to offer. It's not just the animal flower cave, as many persons tend to say. We have so much here to offer. So the project was formalized not only to showcase all the different heritage points and landmarks that we have, but also to bring forefront our entrepreneurs within the parish. And that is one of the main reasons that we would have formulated seminars and all these different things so that we can introduce all that St. Lucie has to offer, not only to Barbados, but also to the wider world. So that's what our project was mainly about since 2019 and now on to 2021 with us.
So since it's not just Animal Flower Cave, what other points of interest are there in St. Lucie? Let me test you now. Talk to me because I know it well. Let me hear you.
We have Harrison's Point Isolation Facility. That is one of the things that persons are getting to know now, given that we are enjoying the COVID-19 pandemic. But on a more brighter side, we also have the first seaside restaurant, the newest, seaside restaurant on Parish, and that is called Catch 22 Restaurant. It's located on the Sunset Point Hotel, and it is that hotel is located in Salmons of St. Lucie.
Yes.
We have a total of 38 bays, so we don't only have River Bay and the one over by the Animal Flower Cave. We have a bay called Mother's Day Bay.
There you go. Yes.
We have a bay called Mother's Day Bay. It is located around the Husbands area, for those who are familiar with St. Lucie. We have so many other bays. We have entrepreneurs who have not only started. Pardon?
There's Coves Cave Bay, Coves Bay, Little Bay. Anyway, yes, Pedro will tell you. Pedro is going to tell you a whole lot more about those as well. Pedro, how has it been, this journey with these two young, bright, enterprising ambassadors for St. Lucie?
Thank you, Percy. It's been really wonderful, but that's the correction. We have 35 bays. That was just a mistake there. Yes, but the journey has been unique. Dealing with two different young persons, it was indeed a good experience to understand who they are, but know that they come from different backgrounds, and they will bring different attitudes and different mindset to the program. And it was to get them to merge together, and we became a team from since 2020, actually, since we got started. And we continued from there until now. We kept in contact throughout the pandemic, and also try to see the other side of persons as opposed to just join the program, but we connected and remain as a team to keep persons' spirits up, because we were on student of this year's program. But we give thanks that it has come to an end now, and we have really did the best that we could through the program. But indeed, it was good to mentor two young persons. I've seen the growth in them. When they started the program, there was time management was a concern, but then we managed, we trashed things out, and they are better today. I can say that to anyone right now, honestly.
Finding new ambassadors, though, over the years has not always been easy. Not everybody necessarily puts themselves forward eagerly. So what's the process like, so I can understand how you identify who your next set of parish ambassadors will be?
Actually, what we do, they put out an ad through community independence celebrations and within our parish as well, and get persons to apply. Or we will approach persons that we think can make a good parish ambassador at times. And then they apply, fill the form out, they go through an interview process, a panel, and then someone selected as parish ambassador as well as attendant. It isn't always the best interviewee that comes on top, but the person who may have the most potential or may need the program to help them develop further, because it's about developing young minds. That's important.
Shakir?
Of course,
Shaki, you're following the footsteps of some very outstanding parish ambassadors from St. Lucie. We've been known to really bring it home. How does it make you feel knowing you have that legacy to keep up?
Well, no pressure, of course. It's an honor, actually, to be a member of this parish, because, as you said, St. Lucie is known for putting their best foot forward in everything we do. We try to do our best and know that at the end of the day, we've tried our best to reach a set goal. So because of that, I believe that I'm honored to be a member of this parish and to follow the footsteps of all the past ambassadors that have represented this parish.
Are you looking forward to December the 4th? That's the day on which it will be announced who is the outstanding parish.
I'm definitely looking forward and excited for that day.
What about you, Dana? Dana?
Yes, please. Yes, please. I think that I'm having a slight delay, so let me apologize for my slow response. However, I am excited to. I'm mainly excited because not only do I want to bring it home for my parish, but I also want my parish to receive all that they deserve. So I am very, very excited. Yes,
That's
please.
that's such a beautiful statement, to receive all that it deserves. I love that you say that. So with all that said then, what do you want all of us who are going to be watching from the parish of St. Lucie to do on December the 4th in support of you?
I believe that the presentation will be one of virtual content. Maybe we will be there, but obviously. So I want you, residents of St. Lucie, and even those who aren't residents of St. Lucie who have supported us so far along our journey, just sit in front of your television or whatever you may have that you may be viewing us on, and sit with us as we anticipate the great answers that the Community Independent Celebration Secretariat staff is going to give us. And I must say, even if we aren't awarded the winning trophy, just know that we are still proud to have been able to represent you as a parish.
Oh, that's beautiful. I've been seeing some comments on our social media giving salute and support to Darrell Jordan Secondary School. Which among you is an alum of the Darrell Jordan School?
Technically, we both are, but I'm going to be very selfish and said I was there from the beginning. So I'll take most of the credit here, Shakil.
Yes, I have no problem with that. You can have the credit there.
Well done, both of you. I'm so proud of thus far, and I have to appear unbiased, but I'm telling you, I'm very proud of you indeed. Dana Broom and Shakil Griffith, parish ambassadors, with Pedro Cumberbatch, who's the attendant as well. I can only wish you the very best on December the 4th. We will all sit before our screens and watch and wait to scream and get all bad when the names of the parish ambassadors of St. Lucie are called. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning. All the best going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome indeed. I'm sure the Darrell Jordan posse are just beside themselves this morning. Well done indeed. We'll take a break here and we're coming back when we meet the parish ambassadors for St. Thomas after this.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Half minutes now to go to 7 o'clock here on Morning Barbados today, Wednesday the 24th. We are 6 days away from Independence Day, 6 days away from when we transition to become a republic, and there are many activities. There are going to be some road closures as well, so just check your daily media all the time to find out which roads and how your traffic can be impacted. Now, we're meeting Parish ambassadors from St. Thomas, and we're happy this morning to say good morning to you, Tremaine Griffith and Shaquana Scott. Good morning, both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wake up, wake up. We are days away from the outstanding Parish ambassadors for the year. So how are you doing thus far? Let's start with you, Tremaine. How has it been for you so far?
Honestly, it has been a journey. I have been here since 2020, so like it's been really long, but it's been fun and it really helped me.
You just can't wait for it to end, right?
Not really. I honestly kind of miss it.
Really? What do you miss? You think would miss most about it?
The community interaction for sure, like the going and doing the various projects and the sessions that happen on weekends. Yeah.
All right. Shaquana, what about you? What have you enjoyed most about this journey thus far as Parish Ambassador for St. Thomas?
Well, for me, I enjoyed interacting mostly with the members of our community, going to the church services and being like interactive, and just being there with our residents made it more fun because they were very welcoming.
What was it that made you put yourself forward, Shaquana, to be the Parish Ambassador for St. Thomas?
Well, really and truly, I did not know anything about the project or the program. A day I was just at church, and the past parish ambassadors would have came and spoken about what they did and what the project was about. So they had asked me to come and speak at their judging about what they did. So at the end of my speech, a gentleman just came up and told me that he loved the way I spoke and he would like me to be the parish ambassador. So after the interview and stuff, I got a phone call that I was a parish ambassador. So it was shocking, but I was so glad, and I know that I stuck out to the end.
Well, that's fantastic. What about you, Tremaine? What was it that made you think, for a second, I can do this? What was it?
Well, it was three things basically. The first two things are my brothers. Well, my closest friends, but I call them my brothers, Don Drill and Antoine. They were both parish ambassadors before me. And I saw how the program really helped them. So I decided that I needed that sort of help as well with the personal development. And the third thing was watching it on TV as a youngster. I used to love watching the Spirit Nation show when I was younger.
And you thought, I want to be a part of that. And it all came about. I was too old to be a part of it, but I'm living it through you guys as we go. What's the project for those couple of years that you've been working as parish ambassadors? What are you focused on?
Well, our project is called St. Thomas Pundy Case, and CASE stands for Culture and Sports Engagement. So it's basically using culture and sport to engage the community and build community togetherness and revitalize community spirit. And also there's an entrepreneurship aspect where we'd use culture and sport to generate revenue in our parish.
And Shaquana, how are you doing that? I mean, it's all well and good to say culture and sport, but in this pandemic, you've not been able to go anywhere as much as you'd like to. So how have you been able now to put this parish project out there so that people really enjoy culture and sport in St. Thomas?
Well, this push us to be innovative and use our social media platforms. So we had a cleanup day and a planted tree day. We also had a day of prayer where we would go into churches and speak about our project. 12 churches participated, which was really good. We got good feedback. So it was really an honor, to get around. We could not get around as much, which made it kind of sad because I really, really wanted to be a part of the hikes and such forth. But we had to really be innovative and think. We really had to use our head to see how we could reach out to people.
Listen, Michael Grant is joining us now. Don't get scared. Don't let him scare you here. Michael Grant is the chairperson of the St. Thomas Parish Independence Committee. Good morning to you, Michael. Thank you for joining us. You're muted,
this
Michael.
morning.
There you are.
Good morning
Good.
to all St. Thomas.
Michael, you have two very young, exciting parish ambassadors to work with. Spotting the talent seems to be something you guys do very well there in St. Thomas.
Yes, I believe we do have, and we have a lot of young people in the parish that are very keen on doing such. You know, we always like to give a good representation of ourselves, and also we like to groom and mix with the younger persons and to groom them to be good young gentlemen and women.
We're not too far away from the announcement of the outstanding parish ambassadors for 2021, you know, but these two, their reign will come to an end. Are you on the hunt for some others right now? Or have the opportunities been closed?
Yes, as a matter of fact, as we are speaking now, we have some other persons in mind, and we are going to go through the process as soon as the program has finished, and we will try to capture what we would, well, I wouldn't say what the best of the best, but we would work with those persons to get them to where we would have like them to be.
But is it closed, or can other young people watching today say, I want to be a part and contact you? And if so, how can they contact you?
Of course, they can contact us through our Parish Independence Committee. We have email numbers that we will send out through the different medias and advertising so that they can contact us.
Tremaine, what did you learn more about St. Thomas in this process that perhaps you never knew before?
Okay, so I learned a really fun fact. I'm going to leave that one for Shaquana. I learned about a lot of hidden gems. I've lived in St. Thomas since I was like 7, and there's some places I've never been to. Pori Spring, the Lookout in Waxmahal Gully, the Williams Vault. I learned some interesting facts about these places. Like the Williams Vault had like supernatural stories about it, where the son, when the son was buried in the family vault, they started to hear coughing, shaking at night. But when he was moved, all of that ceased. I learned that everywhere in St. Thomas where you see a church, there's always a run shop nearby, and I never noticed that in my whole life
till now.
But after I heard that, I was like, there are rum shops everywhere near churches.
So tell me, where can I find this vault? Because I'm now curious as to where this vault with this activity is. Where is it?
Well, it's very close to me actually, and is in the Vault Road, St. Thomas. So you come through it's like going to Waxmahal Gully. I mean, instead of making the right to go to Waxmahal Gully, you go straight up the road, and at the top of the road there's a big vault. It's painted peach now.
Okay.
It changes color each year or so.
Okay. So, Shaquana, there was something that Tremaine thought you should be the person to deliver. So what did you learn? What's this funny thing that you learned about St. Thomas? Talk to me, girl.
Sharon, I would say for our Sharon Moravian Church,
yes,
it is the first Moravian church where African ancestors would have came to worship. Our church is made of limestone blocks, molasses, and eggshells.
Really?
And it is one of the remaining remaining bridges in Barbados. And I pass this bridge every day, and I just tell myself that the bridge look good, but knowing now what it's made of, and it means a lot to Barbados. Like, it was amazing. Pori Spring, no one knows where the water starts. And the Act in 1865 only allows Pori Spring and 3 houses the right for people to use and construct the water. What Tremaine is talking about is that we both found out recently that St. Thomas Church is not a part of St. Thomas, and that was shocking to me because I was like, so when it calls St. Thomas Church, that's gonna be like a part of St. Thomas, and it right there. So it's not a part of St. Thomas, but a part of St. James. So hearing that sad news.
That's sad news. I like the way you termed it. That's sad news. You don't have your parish church in your parish. I love it. So clearly there's a lot you've learned. This program has taught you and allowed you to achieve and examine. I love the fact that you've been able to acknowledge it and to own it as well. So on December the 4th, when the big finale is, what do you want people from St. Thomas to sit at home and do for you, in support of you?
Well, I would like you all to sit and pay attention very well. I would encourage you to go back and watch the videos of our public speaking and stuff like that. And I just want you all to know that I love you and I appreciate you and I thank you for welcoming us for these past 2 years. And regardless of if we win or not, I just want you to know that it was an honor to represent my parish and speak to you.
Well done. What about you, Tremaine?
Well, I just want them to watch us and watch how we represented our parish well. Like, we really went out there and did our best. Like, I wasn't really much of a public speaker before this, but I feel so confident in our speech that was given last Saturday. And I want them to continue backing us, because the people of St. Thomas always back us, and it was seen when we went out doing various projects like the touring Barbados. The people welcomed us with open arms. So I want them to continue backing us even after we go. It was really a pleasure representing this beautiful parish and following along with my brothers, and I hope that we continue to do better in the future.
Well done. Michael, these are two very interesting young ambassadors. What do you want now the rest of those who are watching on to do, and what do you want the people of St. Thomas to do?
I just want us to say thank you on behalf of the committee, and really thank you for supporting our ambassadors, and we're really proud of them, and we're even looking forward to that day when the presentation is shown on the television. And we want you to just to give your support. Get on your television, your phone, whatever device you have, watch the program, and there will be a lot to learn from it. But we are looking that with all that they have went through in the program, that it would give them an opportunity to become better persons from all that they had learned from the programs in which each of them had went through. But St. Thomas, I want to give us your support as we go online on December 4th. And thank you so much, and have a wonderful and beautiful day.
I love it. Thank you, Michael Grant. Thank you, Shaquanda Scott, and Tremaine Griffith as well from the parish of St. Thomas. All the best on December the 4th. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome indeed. Alrighty then. Good. We'll take a break here, and we're coming back with the news right after.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So it's 3 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Let's get an update on the news. For that, we turn to Wendy Burke. Wendy.
Yes, Pearson, exactly 1 week before the country becomes a republic, Barbadians have a document which sets out their rights as well as what is expected of all who reside in this country. That document, the Charter of Barbados, was introduced and keenly debated in the Lower House yesterday. Prime Minister Mia Motley moved the resolution to approve the document to be known as the Charter of Barbados 2021. Prime Minister Motley sought to clarify the Charter is not a legal document, nor is it the Constitution of Barbados.
The one major departure with this Charter from the Constitution that currently exists and the other things that we have done as an independent nation is that there is no document that says to Barbadians that you have not only rights, but you also have a duty to take care of each other. And you have a duty to take care of this nation. And you have a duty to participate in the affairs of nation building as a form of active citizenship. So that this charter, sir, seeks to set out very, very clearly the precepts of not only rights, but the recognition that the only people who will take care of this fair land are Barbadians themselves and those choosing to live here.
To ensure the widest possible ownership of the Charter, Prime Minister Motley says 15 sessions were conducted by the Republican Status Transition Advisory Committee. The Charter is premised on 5 articles. Article 1 says all Barbadians are born free and are equal in human dignity and rights, regardless of age, race, ethnicity, faith, class, cultural and educational background, ability, sex, gender, or sexual orientation. Barbados has recorded 3 more COVID-19 related deaths, pushing the death toll to 214. The individuals are all Barbadians. 2 women, 77 and 78, died at the Blackman and Gollop and Queen's College isolation facilities, respectively. They were both fully vaccinated. Additionally, a 67-year-old man passed away at the Harrison Point isolation facility. He was unvaccinated. 23-year-old Shamar Boyce of Jessamy Avenue, Bayville, St. Michael, is Barbados' 14th road fatality for 2021. The accident occurred about 6:45 last evening along the Bell section of the ABC Highway in the northbound lane between Norman Lyles and Clyde Walcott roundabouts. Boyce was riding a motorcycle when he collided with a car driven by a 32-year-old male from Greenwich's St. Lucie. He died on the spot. Former Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Sir James Mitchell, who passed away yesterday, will be accorded a state funeral. As a mark of respect, all flags throughout that country are being flown at half-mast till Thursday and will again on the day of his funeral. Sir James, who is credited for numerous developments, served as Premier from 1972 to 1974 and Prime Minister from 1984 to 2000. November is Black Awareness Month in Brazil. The country has the largest black population outside of Africa, and it is the last one in the Americas to have abolished slavery. Brazil's 1988 constitution made promises to amend the wrongs of the past, but 3 decades later, black Brazilians are still battling for their rights.
This meeting takes place every November in the settlement of slave descendants. It's a moment to relive stories of Brazil's dark and silenced past.
Many say slavery is over, but we still feel its consequences and undergo a lot of pressure to leave the lands which are rightfully ours.
62 families live in this quilombo in Mangaratiba, 130 kilometers from the city of Rio de Janeiro. It's one of the 5,000 communities scattered around Brazil, built by former slaves. Many of them had run away, hiding from their masters. The 1988 Constitution gave their descendants the right to claim their lands and keep their traditions, like small-scale farming. That's easier said than done. The Mangaratiba Quilombo has been at the center of a battle with an investment company that wants to build a resort on its lands.
And just to update you on the score in the cricket match, Sri Lanka 386 and 191 with 4 declared. The West Indies are chasing a target of 348 and they're 230 and now stand at 32 for 6. So that's 2 more gone. Well, that's been news. Pearson, it's all back to you.
Thank you, Wendy. What a score to come back to me on, but we'll watch and see how the game plays out. 8 minutes after the hour of 7, we're taking a break here. When we come back, the crumbs question of the day.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
10.5 minutes now after 7 o'clock. Time for you to give me a call on 228-5562 or 228-5563 because it's time for today's Crumbs Question of the Day. So 228-5562 or 63. Look at that. That's the question. Simple, Simon, too. All week long, we doing it, Beijing. What is a Bowmanston special? Come, crack on it now. What is a Bowmanston special? 228-5562, 228-5563. Let's see how Beijing you really, really are. What is a Bowmanston special? 228-5562 or 63. Good morning. Hello.
Pleasant morning to you, person.
Thank you. I thank pleasant morning to you too as well. Where are you watching us from?
Beautiful parish of St. Michael.
All right. St. Michael, what's your first name?
First name is Sonia.
Hi, Sonia. Pleasure meeting you this morning. You better know this here, Sonia. You're laughing. You skin your teeth. You better get this right. So are you preparing for independence?
Of course.
Are you a conky girl?
No.
Are you?
I made conky for the first time last year, and they were the bomb, so I have to make some again this year.
Oh, so what's keeping you back?
Getting to get the ingredients, because I got a lot of friends and family, so I can't just make like 10 or 15. I got to make a lot this weekend.
That's right. That's the way you got to share. You have to share. So
Yes,
are you the sort who does conkies only on Independence Day?
No, I think I'm going to do like cuckoo and salt fish and do some fish cakes and
On Independence Day?
Yes.
On Independence Day?
Yes.
So what type of cuckoo do you intend to stir on Independence Day?
Cornmeal cuckoo.
Cornmeal?
Yes.
So you've
I ain't
never
doing
made
a
breadfruit
snack.
cuckoo?
I like breadfruit cuckoo too, but I prefer cornmeal cuckoo.
Why?
I'm a Bajan at heart.
You have the okras already?
Yes, I do.
Good girl. You all set and with saltfish?
Yes.
You don't like red herring?
I love red herring. Red
You're red
herring with
Bajan
rice,
for sure.
red herring playing with biscuits. I'm a Bajan at heart. Here to
I love it. I love it. Me too. I love it too. So, you sure you're not born in the country?
If I'm not born where?
Yeah, you live in St. Michael. Were you born in St. Michael?
Yes, I was born in St. Michael. I live all over Barbados.
You sound like a real country girl.
Hi, Mom.
See what
Hi,
I
Mom.
Country girl at heart, man. So listen, talk to me. What's the answer to the question? What is a Bowmanston special?
So a Bowmanston special will have to be a lovely glass of water, Bajan style.
So if it's not a lovely glass of water, Bajan style, it's not a Bowmanston special?
Water naturally. It's Bowmanston water. That's
Bowmanston water?
Yeah,
Why do you think we call it? Why do you think it was
special? I don't know. I don't know if it's the name of a plantation. I didn't really tap into Google or tap into my brain so early in the morning.
Listen,
I always know Bowmanston
you do not know Bowmanston?
Bowmanston is something to do with water.
You've never heard?
You want a drink, or you better hold a Bowmanston special, which
You
is
have
some water.
never heard of a pumping station at Bowmanston?
Yes, it is. I think it is. I think
hello?
it is. Yes, Pearson.
So not making sense, right?
Yes, you are.
You're absolutely right. It's a good tall glass of water. Good old Bajan Bowmanston. And that's probably what you're going to have too with your cocoa and saltfish on Independence Day anyhow.
Some nice old time Bajan Mobby made from scratch.
You're too Bajan at heart. All right, you stay on the phone with us, okay? We'll take some more information from you. And thank you for watching. Thank you for calling.
Thank you, and keep the good work up. Always.
I've tried. Thank you so much. With your support, I shall try to do so. There you go. She's absolutely right. It's a glass of water. Bowmanston itself being the location of a pumping station here on the island, thus the name, a Bowmanston special. 15 minutes after the hour. That was it for today's Crumbs question of the day. We will take a break here and we're back with more on Morning Barbados.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
17 minutes now after 7 o'clock on Sunday from 10 o'clock in the morning at the Garfield Sober Sports Complex. There is going to be the National Service of Thanksgiving, all under the auspices of the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs. And joining us this morning to talk a little bit more about that are Suleiman Bulbulia, who is of the Muslim faith, and Canon Noel Burke of the Christian faith. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Good morning to you, Pearson.
with all respect to you, Suleiman, we're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion, right, Canterbury. So we're marching towards becoming an independent, well, recognizing our independence, 55 years, and becoming a Republican state. Now, this service of National Thanksgiving on Sunday is going to be a little bit different. What's different about it this year?
Well, the service this year is going to be, this is going to be an awesome service. There are a number of things being taken into consideration. Firstly, it is a celebration of our independence. And also we're looking towards becoming a republic as well. And then in the midst of that, we're facing, of course, we're facing the challenge of the pandemic. And so we've thought of a service that would bring this sort of Trinitarian pattern together. So in the theme, for example, the theme is fortifying foundation, overcoming adversity, and pursuing destiny. So we thought, well, here we are at this particular point in our history where we are celebrating our independence as we have in the past. And in the midst of that, for the past, well, let's say approximately for almost 2 years, we've been going through this particular health challenge. And also we also look into a future. And so the service this year will seek to bring together all of these. So the readings, the prayers, the hymns, and so on, everything together will seek to bring all of these various elements together, as it were. And of course, we are doing this all together as citizens of this fair land, and of course those in the diaspora as well, recognizing, of course, that there's the majority Christian population, but there are also those among us, Barbadians among us, who are practitioners of other faiths. So we are also seeking to bring that together once again this year in the National Service of Thanksgiving.
And I hope you don't mind me calling you Suleiman, Mr. Bulbuli. I just know you too well enough to not call you anything else. So Suleiman, you represented the Muslim faith, and for a long time we have had the multi-faith services. And the inclusion is what we're talking about. As we move on towards becoming a republic, the whole question of inclusivity is going to be foremost. It's for the people. And so from the Muslim faith's perspective, what is it about the theme do you think that we need to reinforce or have reinforced through the service?
I think, as Canon Burt mentioned, all three elements of the theme are very important for us, especially at this juncture in our history. So fortifying foundation, we're going back to the fact that we became independent 55 years ago, and what does that mean to Barbadians? And also that we're in the midst of a pandemic that is creating a lot of challenges for many Barbadians. So we are confronting adversity, and how do we overcome that adversity in times like this? And at the same, and also we are heading towards a republic where people are asking questions, where are we going? And we are looking towards the future with renewed hope and vigor. So we are pursuing destiny. And this is all part of our journey as a country and as a people. We are moving towards different goals, and the next goal is obviously becoming a republic. That's part of the journey. So the service wants to reflect all of that. So the theme reflects that, and the service wants to reflect that. And as Canon Burke mentioned, we recognize in Barbados that we have a number of faith groups that make our fair land, and so we want to have also an opportunity for them. As a Muslim, I've been happy to be associated with the service over the last number of years, and for our community to have been included in the service. And for other communities, other faith communities, to have a presence at the service, either as part of the prayers or part of the readings, or even just to be there. And this year actually will feature messages from a wide cross-section of the faith groups in Barbados that will be aired during the beginning of just before the service actually starts. And so that is part of all what we are doing on Sunday to give thanks to Almighty God for what we have achieved and what we're going towards.
So all faiths come together in one space, even though it's all over the world, really, when we transmit it, to say thank you to God in the National Thanksgiving Service, fortifying foundations, remembering from where we've come, overcoming our adversities, acknowledging where we are, but in pursuit of our destiny of being great and recognizing really our sovereignty and God's sovereignty in all of this, and the God to whom we serve as well. So on Sunday, can you walk us through then how the service is broken down so that people have a great appreciation for what they'll be a part of on Sunday from 10 o'clock?
Certainly. Well, one of the wonderful things this year, normally the service is preceded by music, and we will have that. But also too, the service will be preceded by, tributes, messages of commendation, messages of thanks from various groups and so on across. So although the service begins at 10, we will want to encourage persons to sort of log in or log on before 10 so that they can sort of capture some of that. The service this year, again, let me add, will feature the music of one of our prominent Barbadian musicians. It will feature the music of Mr. Roger Gittins, who is the head of the music program at the Barbados Community College and so on, and whose name is very, very much associated with music across Barbados. So his music will feature in the service. Of course, the band of the Royal Barbados Police Force, they're still the Royal Barbados.
I saw your reaction, yes.
The band of the police force will be leading the music. Her Excellency, the Governor General of Barbados, the service will begin with her arrival. Of course, prior to her arrival, there will be the arrival of the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister of Barbados, and of course members of cabinet, etc. will also be present. This year, again, we will have the presentation of the flag, and that will be done by members of the Barbados Cadet Corps. We have the national anthem, the hymns. We should all be able to join in the hymns. They're all very well-known hymns. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. A number of hymns that are very, very well known. The readings will be done by a variety of persons. We have persons representing the Jewish community. We have prayers and readings, as I think Suleiman mentioned, representing persons from across the spectrum, those who are involved in as frontline workers or social workers, those who work in our quarantine and isolation centers. We want to bring these persons to the fore within the context of the service as well. The sermon is going to be delivered by Senator the Reverend Dr. John Rogers. He will bring the sermon, well-known Barbadian Anglican cleric. And there will be a liturgical dance by the Louise Woodvine School. The choir will be led by Mr. Boleyn, and they will render an anthem. But one of the features in this service as well, let me add quickly, will be the consecration of colors, the new colors of the Barbados Defence Force, and that will be done by the senior chaplain to the Barbados Defence Force. So there's lots in the service that is interesting, fascinating. Worship and liturgy is normally riveting. And there are many things that should hold our attention during the course of the service.
It's going to be interesting. So we have to leave it there. I'm sorry I'll be out of time. Suleiman Bulbuli of the Muslim faith and Canon Noel Birch of the Christian faith. Now, we want to encourage folks to tune in on your choice, your platform that you choose to watch it on, whether it's YouTube or any of the streaming devices. Of course, we'll be streaming it here at CBC, watching it on TV8 as well. It will also be heard on Q100.7 FM. So you can see it live on the PMO Barbados YouTube page, CBC TV8, on CBC's at social media as well. Hear it on Q100.7 FM and any other media across Barbados. And we want to encourage everyone to be a part of the National Service of Thanksgiving this Sunday, starting at 10, but log in before to get some of the pre-service music as well. Thank you, gentlemen, and we hope that everyone joins in this worship of celebration. Thank you. Morning Barbados will continue right after this, but before we go to break, I want to tell you about this. To join the UWI CIIT for a virtual forum. That virtual forum is entitled Software Engineering. There it is on your screen. Software Engineering for Post-COVID Growth, where ideas and resolutions for those questions will be discussed. And you need to register in advance of that meeting. However, you can scan the photograph you see there on your screen. You can scan it for more details, and you can log into Zoom to be a part of it. The University of the West Indies Global Institute of Software Technology China Institute of Information Technology partnered in 2016 as the first international institute of the University of the West Indies situated in China. So we will post all of this information on our Facebook page, but we want to encourage you to register to be a part of that big software engineering for post-COVID growth, all hosted by the UWI CIIT. Thank you, Justin, for sharing that information. We want to encourage you to go to our Facebook page, Morning Barbados, to know more. A break, and we're back with more.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
"29 minutes now to 8 o'clock. I'll tell you, management is not easy, but when those bruises of management come, you need to have your manager's first aid kit to reach into to salve that beast sometimes. Joining me now as we continue our journey through this is my girl, Joan Underwood. Good morning to you, Joan.
Good morning to you as well, Pearson, and to everyone else joining us.
You know, everyone loves that smile. That smile from Joan is such a warmth on a Wednesday morning. It is not uncanny. It is just so real. So, Joan, let's get serious now. So, being in management, you know, we are confronted with a lot of situations that sometimes at the end of the day, you could feel so tired, and you could feel as though you might have just almost wasted all of your time because somehow they ain't getting it. And so you lose track of what it is that is actually important, having journeyed through that day. And you start this chapter where we're looking at an attitude of gratitude by saying when we focus on our gratitude, the tide of disappointment goes out and the tide of love rushes in. It's a quotation from Kristen Armstrong. Why do you think we need as managers to focus on an attitude of gratitude as well?
Listen, there's so many things that can get us down during the course of a day, during the course of a career in management. And so it's important that we have a font that we can go go to rejuvenate ourselves. And fortunately for us, we carry that around in terms of the ability to be grateful, because gratitude cannot coexist within us with stress. It cannot coexist within us with anxiety, with anger. It's impossible to have both of those emotions within you at the same time. And because we can make a choice to be grateful, it really is something that's a blessing that we can rejuvenate simply by making the choice to be grateful.
Is grateful just delaying dealing with the stress? Is being gratitude as a spirit of gratitude, is that delaying the fact that I have to deal with this stress?
Well, let me offer you a reframe for that. Do you have to deal with stress, or do you have to deal with a situation? So your mindset, approach it from a mindset that is rooted in gratitude. The stress goes away, the situation doesn't. But the stress that you would have associated with it otherwise, again, simply because stress cannot coexist with gratitude. So you deal with the situation, but you approach it from a different mindset.
And I'm glad you said that, because I wanted to link it back. You walked right where I wanted to take you, to where the buck stops. And that's what we looked at last week, where we talked about how you shift your focus to fix it. And that's the whole thing. We can sit and blame till thy kingdom come. But when we start to look at the situation and apply what we need to apply, we begin to see solutions. And in seeing those solutions, we can now understand better why we ought to develop an attitude of gratitude. Because at the end of the day, we must be able to say, you know what? Yeah, look at how we've been able to turn what was a horrible situation into something that we can actually learn and experience from.
And you know, earlier this morning, I was looking at a video from Oprah on Instagram. And Oprah is on record as saying the single most important decision that she has made in her life is to keep a gratitude journal. She's been doing it for years. And she says every day she writes in her journal 5 things for which she's grateful. And she says even on the worst day, she still does it. And she went on to say, because no matter how things are, you can go to the point that, hey, I'm still breathing. So for that, I can be grateful.
And you, in the book, you say, you can write, I can be grateful that, or I can be grateful for. So it reshapes my way of thinking. There's a bit of science in all of this.
Absolutely. And you know, the human body and how we've been put together is so wonderfully magnificent in terms of how it works. Because when we choose to have an attitude of gratitude, our body responds in terms of the neurochemicals that are secreted. So it gives us almost a high for just by making a conscious choice to be grateful. The reward that we get.
Yes. On page 45, you write, you know, the positive effects are a feeling of a sense of abundance in one's life, appreciating the contributions of others to one's well-being, recognizing and enjoying life's small pleasures, and acknowledging the importance of experiencing and expressing gratitude. There's so much that builds up within you that makes you smile, that it brings that true smile to your face at the end of the day. And you put into context everything that would have happened before, and you recognize which one is more important. You know, there's sometimes I say to people, you know, when you're fretful, it is so unattractive. It is so, I'm serious. That is my statement to them all the time. Stop fretting because it's so unattractive. When you can turn that around and look at the things for which you ought to be thankful, and in doing that, then the beauty of the person really comes through. And so the beauty of the experience as a manager comes through, because now you realize, you know, but there was something for which I ought to be thankful. And part of that gratitude could be that I've actually had that experience, because now I know, and therefore I'm grateful for. And that, I think, helps to return to shape the way one sees life and one sees things.
And it's a gift that keeps on giving, because when we are grateful and we express that gratitude to others, it generates goodwill that returns to us. And especially, I don't know if you and the listeners are familiar with the five love languages, but if one's preferred love language is words of affirmation, and you express gratitude to that person, I mean, the goodwill that will then elicit towards you. Like I said, it's a win-win situation because you feel good about being grateful, and then the gratitude that you express to someone else comes back to you in terms of them feeling more benevolent towards you, in terms of them appreciating you as well. So it really is something that downside to it. And it's interesting that this topic fell at the time that it did in our sequence, because we're going into independence, we're going into becoming a republic, and gratitude for the history that we've shared, and just an appreciation for all those who have helped to make Barbados the amazing country that it is. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving Day, with our friends in the US, and they have dedicated a day for giving thanks, for being grateful. But again, gratitude is something that we should practice on a daily basis.
Right. That's right. And so I got to leave it there. But at the end of the chapter, you encourage us to have our own journal. And in it, get that journal to use for this exercise. If you, like me, are big on writing by hand, as you say, start to file. I love that. At the end of each day, call to mind at least one thing that happened for which you're grateful. Make a record in our journal where you say, I'm grateful that, or I'm grateful for. Then record our feelings or emotions experienced and sit quietly for just a few minutes and savor the benefits of being grateful. Be quiet, be still, stand still, and savor those feelings of being grateful. I love it, Joan. I absolutely love it. I want to encourage all of you to get a copy of the book because we're still in self-management. We haven't gone on to managing people or processes yet. We're still very much in self-management. So the books are available at Days Bookstore, folks. So get a copy today. It's a really great thing to have by your side. Or you can go to online to utdsinc.com, or you can get it on Amazon, wherever you are in the world, and get a copy of it as well. But most of all, call Joan. Joan can get you a copy as well. She's here. And she could give you her own personal autographed copy of the book, Manager's First Aid Kit, finding that practical guide to remedy the three most common situations that we have to deal with managerial challenges. Joan Underwood, as always, thank you. We're seeing you next week when we're looking at you can't pour from an empty cup. No, isn't that the truth? You can't pour from an empty cup.
And I've been told that the Bajan version of that is empty bag can't stand up.
No, you just taught me that. But we will talk about that next week, should God spare life. Thank you, Joan, as always.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Joan Underwood there, the author of that amazing book. We're coming back after this. 17 to the hour now. Gentlemen, this is for us, but really and truly when we talk about our prostate, it's really a family's management of one's health. Joining us this morning is Dr. Paul Rouse, who's our urologist. We want to look today at the prostate-specific antigen test and the results, the numbers, the prognosis, the treatment opportunities as well. Dr. Rouse, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again. Good morning, Barbados.
I turn it over to you. Let's talk about this, the specific antigen test.
Well, thanks very much. I'd like to take this opportunity to get men very comfortable, and women for that matter as well, to get their partners, get them seeing their GPs, and to have an assessment as far as their prostate is concerned. Recently in my clinic, I've seen a number of men who are interested, who have been keeping an eye on their prostate health and having regular PSA checks. But although they have the blood test done, have been ignoring the results and just monitoring it. And sometimes, unfortunately, as a lot of patients do, they tend to shop around a bit. They go to one person, they have an assessment, they go to the next person, have a second opinion, sometimes even a third opinion, while their PSA, this is a blood test to help us assess men's prostate health, not only from BPH, but also from a prostate cancer point of view. That's the PSA, that's the prostate-specific antigen. It's a simple blood test. It should be done in conjunction along with your digital rectal exam, but we know that some men are reluctant to have this test done sometimes. So out of the two tests, the PSA on its own is slightly better than the digital rectal exam in terms of performance. If you have some of the slides, the reason why I'm honing on this is, again, just a quick reminder where the prostate gland is. It sits around the water passage, the urethra, at the base of the bladder, and the importance is that it produces semen. Despite what we think as men and women, very little of the ejaculate actually comes from the testicles. Most of it comes from the prostate gland and the seminal behind. But some of the problems that can go wrong with the prostate as we get older, as we know, is the enlarged prostate, or what we call the BPH. That's what we see under the microscope, and prostate cancer. And this is where the PSA is very helpful. So this one is just showing a quick histology slide of the prostate tissue and what the glands are all about. PSA helps us with BPH when we see that the relatively high PSA tells us that basically your prostate is enlarged. Once your PSA is greater than 1.5, it suggests that if men have lower urinary tract symptoms, that they have an enlarged prostate, and therefore it can guide us in our management of BPH with medications and in some cases surgery. But the one that I'm really concerned about is use in the management of prostate cancer. As you can see there in this diagram, that your PSA, we take into account that your PSA will rise as you get older, because men will have enlargement of their prostate as they get older from benign prostatic enlargement. But as you can see there, once your PSA gets above 6.5, especially in elderly men, that's where we see most cancer, then we have to get a lot more concerned about prostate cancer. It does not mean you have prostate cancer. It just means that you need to have that assessment. That assessment begins with your GP. So men, see your GP first, have that annual assessment. If you have a strong family history of prostate cancer, you should be really having that assessment probably from the age of about 40, 45, or we roughly say 10 years before that family member who was diagnosed with prostate cancer had that diagnosis. You should really start your screening from then. So once you've had that screening done by your GP and had the digital rectal exam, and if they think it's appropriate, then they'll refer onto the urologist like myself for that further assessment, where you have that discussion in clinic. And then we'll take it from there, really. Talk to you about the pros and cons of testing for prostate cancer and the way to go about, if you're diagnosed, to manage it. Not all men will have prostate cancer. Some men will just have an enlarged prostate. Some men will also have some inflammation of the prostate, or something called chronic prostatitis, without necessarily having prostate cancer. So men, don't be afraid if you have an elevated PSA. It does not mean that you have prostate cancer. It could be other things going on, and that's where your GP and urologist will be appropriate. I think that's more or less the same cartoon, but if we go to the next slide, this is what I'm trying to avoid. Next slide, please. This is really what I'm trying to avoid. This is a patient presenting with a PSA of over 1,000.
Wow.
There's very little I can do at this stage. We can make things better, but we can't cure this patient. This patient ultimately will die from prostate cancer. And we do have, it is not 100%. There is not all prostate cancers produce PSA, and sometimes your PSA 1 month can be relatively normal, and within a few months it can be high. But if you have a regular assessment, hopefully we will pick it up, and hopefully we will not pick you up at this stage. This is the stage I don't want to meet men. This is the stage where I have a very difficult conversation of sometimes trying to give hope when really and truly I know, quite frankly, this is this is a life-threatening disease at this stage. I don't want to pick up men at this stage. So that's really where I'm taking this opportunity this morning to encourage men have their regular annual checkups by their GP, and as needed, GPs will refer you over to urologists for that further assessment. If you have a strong family history of prostate cancer, that means a brother, a father, grandfather who've had what we call a first-degree relative who've had prostate cancer, you should have that assessment. Also, there's also a link with breast cancer. So if there's breast cancer in the family, if you have your sister, mother, grandmother who've had breast cancer, again, you should be being screened. There is an association with both a family history of prostate cancer as well as breast cancer. So that's really my message this morning. Really, I just want to encourage men not to be afraid of the blood test, the PSA, to go have that assessment by your GP, and where necessary, they will refer to you refer you to me as a urologist for further assessment.
Happens even to me in this business as well. It happens. But so up to age, or just about age 65, a 6.5 on that scale, that PSA test is expected, but it's not necessarily meaning that it's cancer. But you just have to go have it monitored all the time, because as we grow older, our prostates will enlarge, and with it would come a whole host of other spin-off health challenges. But it does not mean that you have cancer. Have it detected as early as possible if necessary. Go to your GP, your urologist, and find out how it's moving through your body. There was an image you showed of the skeleton. And in the skeleton, there were two images. One that was a little bit clearer than the one that on the right side. So the left side of that, this one, which is the worst?
So this is a.
Go ahead.
So the one on the left is the normal. This is what we call a bone scan. I thought this would be a good way to let people understand to a certain extent, try to give them a visual understanding of what prostate cancer looks like. So on the left, this is one of the tests we do when men are diagnosed with prostate cancer to determine the extent, or what we call the stage of the disease. So the one on the left is a relatively normal bone scan where you can see symmetrical uptake of the radioisotope, in this case, throughout the whole bones. One of the first organs that prostate cancer likes to spread to is to the bones. So we routinely, inappropriate men have a bone scan. However, the image on the right is not so good, as you can probably see. When you see those black areas, that is what we call hotspots. So that's where the bone is actively metabolizing. So those are, in this case, foci of cancer. And as I said, this was quite a very high PSA. And as I said, this is not the stage I really want to pick up men, because as you can see, the cancer is all over the body.
All over. But when
there's very little we can do about it.
When it's all over, do you feel pain? Do you feel pain in the joints? What do you feel when that image?
It's amazing that how disease in some men can be so extensive and have very little symptoms. So that's why I'm pressing the point that you really need that regular assessment of your prostate with your PSA. Because I mean, even recently I had a patient presenting with very few symptoms after over a 2 or 3 month period, and their PSA was actually unrecordable. They stopped recording it after 5,000. And it's amazing that still happens in this day and age. So that's why I really wanted to drive home the importance of having that assessment by your GP, rectal exam, PSA.
What you're saying to me there is my carcass could be going along all the while cancer is coursing through and I have no clue. And I'm feeling fit and fine, and I'm looking fit and fine, but all the while my bones are bearing this. So it's important that we all are checked. Thank you so much, Dr. Rouse, as always. Very graphic, but very important. I think we got the idea from that skeletal shot. I think we got the idea. So gentlemen, we have to get our PSAs. We got to know our numbers. We got to know our numbers. We have to know our numbers, and we have to do something about those numbers as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Rouse.
No, thank you very much again for having me. Good morning, Barbados.
Good morning indeed. We're coming back after this.
morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Time for us to hear more about the upcoming St. Christchurch Parish Church Tea Party drive-through. Paige Bryan drives through with me now. Paige, we're going to go fast on this one. I'm stepping on the gas, all right? How you doing,
That's
Paige?
fine. I am well, thanks. And you?
Oh, sweet, I'm well too, thank you. It's Saturday. So talk to me about the mechanics, how we can be a part of this.
Okay, so first of all, the tickets are $35 each. It's a drive-through tea party. We normally host a tea party at least once a year, but we've decided, obviously, that you can't come and sit because of COVID. So we are going to do a drive-through event. It's from 3 o'clock to 5 p.m. You can do pickups every half hour, so 3 to 3:30, 3:30 to 4, 4 to 4:30, 4:30 to 5. When you buy your ticket, you say when you want to pick up. We will also deliver within the environment. So if you're in Pegbell, Wotton, Gaw Hill, Christchurch, Gaw Hill, Silver Hill, Kingsland, we will also deliver. Some just regular tea party menu, cheese sandwiches, tuna sandwiches, fish cakes, vegetable samosas, pone, coconut bread, of course, fruit cake, ginger sugar cake, tamarind ball, and you will get your tea and your juice as well.
What? Dark cocoa tea is a blessing
Yes.
to me. I love it. Dark cocoa tea. So for a couple hours between 3 and 5 in the afternoon on Saturday, for $35, we can either pick up or it can be delivered to us depending on how close we are to the location. So how can I get
Yes.
a ticket for $35? How can I get that
So
ticket?
you can call 834-0795 and arrange to have your tickets. You can meet with the person and we'll get the tickets to you. You can also go to the church office. You know, we're just next to Foundation School, Churchill, Christchurch. Wednesday, which is today, between 10 and 12, or Friday between 10 and 2. Tickets will be available. Someone will be there to sell you the tickets.
All right, so we can either go to the church office today or Friday, but Saturday for sure. Call who you know or call to 834-0795. The menu has all conkeys. The menu has all sandwiches.
Yes.
It has all cheese. It has all everything that we can
Sugar
want.
cake, tamarind ball, coconut bread. It has everything that you could want.
And
Fish
tea.
cakes, fish
And
cakes.
tea.
It has on tea. I love a good cup of tea. So it has on tea and it has on juice. So everything
love
that you
it.
could want is in this menu.
So true. You guys are so innovative at Christchurch Parish Church. 834-0795. Let me repeat that number, folks. Get cracking right now to get your ticket. 834-0795. And of course, the earlier you are able to get your ticket, the better you can plan for how people can pick up and the better you can plan how to cater as well. So it's so important today that you start cracking on this.
Well, they're limited tickets. So we've capped the numbers, and the earlier you get your ticket, the better for you. But we've capped the numbers so that we know what we're catering for.
Right. Of course, you can go to the church office today between 10 and 12 today.
Yes, and 10 and 2 on Friday.
Right.
Yes.
And then on Friday as well. So, folks, 834-0795, we're going to drive in. As we did last night, come through one, you go through the other, because we want to observe all protocols. There must be a smooth transition as well. All the information is right there on your screen. And you can reserve your ticket. Call today and reserve your ticket. Go to the church office today or Friday. Reserve your ticket. So you're properly catered for. Tickets are limited, but they're going very, very quickly. Paige Bryan, as always, only the very best for you and only the very best for all of the efforts there as well. Paige, thank you so very much. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Indeed, all proceeds, you do too. All proceeds are going to the repair of the church roof and the bell tower. This information we will post on our Facebook page as well. Remember, Mornin Barbados on your Facebook page. We have to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. For my small crew of Alicia Alsgrant, my producer, Roel Ford, our technical director, Christopher Blemman at Sound, and Ryan Kennedy, Master Control. We're looking forward to seeing you again. And thank you, Pat. Thank you, Pat. Good morning, everybody, for joining us on social media as well. Thank you so much for joining. We'll see you tomorrow, should it be God's will. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.